1 Peter 2:5 says that you are living stones that God is building into his spiritual temple. What's more, you are his holy priests. Through the mediation of Christ Jesus, you offer spiritual sacrifices that please God. And that's part of that's music and our lives and the way we treat people. But I love it that even in, you know, a metaphor for the church and the kingdom of God that's buildings and rocks, he says, no, you're living rocks. You're living stones. You're not just a building that's it, that's where you're staying, that's it forever. I mean, imagine a building that could move. And it's too hot, so it moves into the shade. Or it changes shape when more people come over. I mean, that's the kind of house that God's building us into. Not just one set thing that's stark and solid and fantastic and impressive, but no, we're a flexible, living thing. And so we need to be adapting as a music ministry, as individuals, as a church. We need to be adapting like a living thing. You know, Mark spoke about the blood last Sunday. Blood's alive. You know, once it leaves your body, it turns red. It's blue inside your body because there's no oxygen touching it, apparently. You know, but it's an actual living thing. You're losing, you know, 200 million blood cells every second, apparently. I looked it up. It's just, what? Yeah, it's massive. It's this massive living thing flowing through your body that's part of your body. And we are part of Christ's body, alive and moving and living and changing and working together. It's really exciting. And so it means, yeah, we're not stuck in any one thing. And in our expression for God, in loving people and him, through song and through anything, through serving, it's just, the possibilities are, you know, really limitless. And I just think I would never try and take a living building or a vine and a branch, all these living examples of what God and his kingdom and we are like, and try and just say, this is what you're like, and this is how you practice, and this is what you know, because, you know, who knows what we're going to do, how many bands we're going to have, where they're going to travel, and who they're going to reach. And some of the stuff that's coming out already is just beautiful. And I'm like, wow, you know, I would consider myself particularly musical, and I'm just standing around going, wow. You know, whenever I go, God, I've got a problem, I don't know what to do about, you know, the technical area of music. He doesn't suddenly give me the gift of understanding technical issues. He sends V along. Yeah. God answers with a person because he's building living stones into the building. It's fantastic. I go, oh God, what are we going to do about, you know, oh, Mason is our new youth pastor and we need more young people in the music and blah, blah. And then along come a whole family of young musicians. Well, look at that. Amazing. You know, you're like, cool, God's answering with people, building living stones into who we are, and adding to us. And you're like, wow, it's like they've always been here, I love it. You know, it's fantastic. And so, I think we're living in a constant relationship with God. Every day, talking to him in the morning, and the good, the bad, whatever. And so that's what our worship should be like, our music should be like. It's this constant backwards and forwards. And, you know, what we're doing and all that sort of stuff. So, I think finding our place in this and going beyond any sort of amount of roles. Psalm 119, happy are those who obey his decrees and search for him with all their hearts. They do not compromise with evil, they walk only in his paths. You have charged us to keep your commandments carefully. Oh, that my actions would consistently reflect your principles. Then I will not be disgraced when I compare my life with your commandments. When I learn your righteous laws, I thank you. By living the way I should, I will obey your principles. Don't give up on me, God. How can a young person be pure? By obeying your words and following your rules. I have tried my best to find you. Don't let me wander away from your commands, etc., etc. I mean, just that longing, not for rules and whatever, like the commandments and stuff are just road signs towards the person of God. And in our worship, in our music, like, we really can't kind of go wrong. Like when I don't know where you guys worship God with music privately, I do it in the car mostly, so I'm driving along, because my voice is my instrument, so I don't need to play anything in the car, and I'm yakking along, and I stop at the lights, and someone's laughing at me, like, okay, whatever. But there, it's personal, it's private, it doesn't have to be in key, it doesn't have to make sense, and my mind will wander off, and I'll forget totally what I was saying, and it doesn't rhyme, so it might, you know what I mean, I'll laugh, and that'll say, oh God, and it's cool. Because it's between me and him, and it's personal, and out of those times I go, oh, that would be really cool on Sunday. And sometimes I'm like, no, that'd be terrible on Sunday. That was just cool then. But other times you're like, what was that, God? And often, like, I'll speak verses. I'll get up and go, because God's not giving us a spirit of fear or something, and encourage people. Come on, guys, let's focus on who He is and what He's done for us, because He is able. Da 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 da. A lot of that stuff just comes out of my own worship. You know, I'm hating my life this week, and things are going terrible. So what do I know about? You're big, you're kind, you're generous, you forgive, you're quick to forgive, slow to anger. Da da da. I just go on about what I know about Him, and the things about my week kind of go to the background, and I just go, I don't have any answers, God, but you're awesome, and I'm just going to praise you regardless, and that's where it kind of comes up from for me. And when I don't have that, I just go, right, I need to take a day off and just relax. I need to just, too busy, not enough sleep, settle and focus on Him. Get that vision back, and remember, you know, we're serving people. So I do have a really quick description of roles, if you'd like me to read it out. But it's, because we do have different people doing different things in the music. But really the thing that I think is vital is people who are searching for God. Because if you will speak to God directly, He'll bring up every issue eventually. You know, like He steps into our life at a certain point in time, walks back into our past and into our future as we walk along with Him. And He just walks us through it all, you know. We're just this ongoing project of His, and He sees us right from the end, saying, hey, you mighty person, you amazing, you know, amazing legend, even though we're not there yet. But we're already there in His eyes, because He can see from the future, from the end, and He watches us walk towards Him. Yeah, come on, you mighty man of God. Well, I'm not mighty. Yeah, you are. I can see it already. Just trust me. You follow what I'm saying, and you're going to be all the things that I've seen you already do. You know, and it's like, oh, okay, great, God. But that kind of pursuing Him, you know, because we're going to have dramas, you know, personality conflicts, musical taste clashes, you know, roster dramas. Every week someone's swapping with someone else. Hey, that's great. Cross-pollinate the bands. Oh, boy, that's fine. There'll be more this week than ever, I reckon. It's crazy in there. Fine, that's great. You know, that's okay. We'll be able to roll with it. You know, we'll offend each other. I'm sure I've offended you already. You know, but, you know, we'll work it out. As iron sharpens iron, so we will annoy each other, but we'll knock off the harsh edges and we'll get sharper. If we'll forgive, if we'll love. So, some things that I've sort of got, and it's all about serving, is, say, a producer, which is, you know, it can be myself or Chris B, or Tish, select songs in conjunction with the worship leader and encourage the band to create a connection with God through music. But remember that everyone's a worship leader. I'm just talking about, say that tonight it's B. Worship leader, so tonight it's B. Lead the band and the congregation to a connection and experience of God through music. Music director, which in Fee's case is Fee, because she has a great understanding of the technical side of music, but I don't. So for me, I've got V in my band. And so I'll go to V. V, I'm thinking of doing this, this, and this, and he'll just go, oh. Okay, yeah, cool, we'll do this. He sits down with his iPad and looks at it. Yep, okay, and he takes over. And I go, great, that's what I wanted. Okay, so a musical director coordinates the musical side of things. You know, Chris V obviously does it on his own. He's everything, you know. The band are the musical team that supports the worship leader in leading the people in connecting with and an experience of God through music. Vocalists are the vocal team that supports the worship leader in leading the people to a connection with and an experience of God through music. And the sound, lighting and media tech guys, the media team supports the band, supports the worship leader in leading the people to a connection and an experience of God through music. And I've got written here, everyone is a worship leader. Absolutely. You know, and who's one of the most powerful worship leaders in our church is the sound man. Nobody has more control than that guy, you know, really. And everybody, including the sound guy, needs to do their thing with the Spirit, you know, and with truth. So obviously they've got to know their job, but they've got to use the Spirit. So they're just there going, oh yeah, the worship song's building and there's a solo or whatever's going on, and they're just doing whatever they need to do to adjust and put things up and down. And then God says to them, something's coming up with the drums, and they go, oh okay, the worship leader might not know that yet. The drummer might not know that yet. Oh okay. And then God puts that in their heart. Yeah, just the drums, and everyone's already, oh, yeah, I knew that was coming. That's just working in the Spirit. And you're going, oh, I've got this backing vocal bit I've got to sound really cool, and oh, I got this feeling, and then, oh, yep, bang. And then, I mean, it's so common now in church that I just like, it's like, oh, everything fits again. It's regular now. Like Mark just says, you hear from God, I'll hear from God, and when the music and the words and the preaching come together, it'll all be just dovetailed. And it does every week. It's like normal now. It's not unremarkable at all. And it's because people are released to hear from God themselves. And that's a great trust thing. And so everyone's a worship leader in our teams, and everybody needs to be led by the Spirit and the truth. And I guess I'll just finish with one thing. When I talk to different people, like, I'll give you one example. I was talking to V and Priscilla, had dinner at their place the other night, and they were talking to me about excellence. Excellence is something that they're very interested in, and so I would call that the music, as in the technical side of things, key, tempo, rhythm, all that sort of stuff. And they were talking about, that's really important. And I mentioned that to Chris V, and he just goes, excellence to bring lots of people to church? No. Excellence to play really cool stuff? No. Excellence because God deserves the best? Yeah. And I just went, preach to me, man, that's amazing. And so in what we do, I think that's definitely one of the elements. I think there are 6 things. There is the words of what we're doing. For example, some songs are talking about God, for you are holy. So you're not talking to him. Other ones are, for you, O God, are a lamp, unto my feet, a light unto my path. So you're speaking to him. So there are tenses. So our God reigns, he reigns forever. We're talking about him together. Yeah. Our God reigns. Yes, he does. Yeah, you're right, he does reign. Whereas you alone are all I need. And so understanding that helps you craft songs together to create an experience, as well as doing it by changing speed, by changing key, going up or down, using majors and minor chords, different things like that. There's different ways to understand it. There is what the Spirit is saying, because I guarantee every Thursday at practice and every Sunday, it's a different thing, isn't it? Amazing, you know what I mean? Because you're like, wow, Thursday was amazing, but today was so different, but really good too. Because we don't practice worshipping God, we worship God. I don't go, oh, I've got this really good sort of some speaking in tongues lines worked out there, brilliant, I pull them out on Sunday. You just do it, don't you? I think, and what's the Spirit saying? Also,
I don't know, I haven't got the gift of interpretation.
So, and there's our mission. What is our call as a church? So, if I'm going, I'm picking songs about, we're casting down the devil, or we're going to the nations. We're going to the nations, and Mark goes, man, what about right here? And I go, but I just really feel I'm a missionary. And he's like, man, I think you should go and be a missionary. Oh, okay. Understanding who we are and what our flavour is. Like we're not Hillsong, we're not Jesus culture. That's okay. As we develop, we'll become who we are. Which I think understanding that is really exciting.